All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome, and I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order for Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the
flag
flag of the United States of America
and to the
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. First order of business is public comments. Do we have anybody with us tonight who would like to share any thoughts with us? You can unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please, if you wish to. And hearing none, we'll move on. Correspondence, Dan, I don't think anything came in, right?
No.
All right, I actually will describe some correspondence as we go, and I'll go straight into the first selectmen's report. Do I have screen sharing ability?
Yes. For a co-host.
All right, I'm going to put this up there. This is a memo that's going to go out actually tomorrow. Whoops, that's not it. That's the agenda.
Nope, that's the agenda.
Never mind. Let me try that again. Never mind. It disappeared on me. I'll just describe it. First thing on my report tonight is I just completed a 3-page memo that describes to all board chairpersons and board members and staff members that effective immediately, we can begin transitioning back to in-person meetings for all town governmental meetings. We've been waiting quite some time for the state to clarify the rules on this. One of the last bills that was passed at the end of the session this year was HB House Bill 6448, or the Accessibility of Town Government Act, basically, along with some other things. So basically, here's what this law does. It's a new statute. It empowers boards and commissions to choose for themselves which type of meetings they wish to have. And then it also imposes some new rules onto those meetings. So the 3 choices are going back to in-person meetings, just like the good old days, and all the usual rules apply, which is posting of an agenda 24 business hours before the meeting, posting of minutes within 48 hours if there was a vote taken, and all the normal things that go along with that. If boards and commissions wish to, they can continue with remote meetings being fully remote via Zoom. And there's a sunset clause to that particular rule. And it says that remote meetings may continue up until April 30th, 2022, unless further modified by the General Assembly. And there are some new rules that go with that. The most important one, and there's actually 2. If a board or commission is going to have a remote meeting where they're all board members are in their homes or whatever, and they're not going to be meeting in a central place, that has to be published notified in the town clerk's office, not 24 hours in advance of the meeting, but 48 hours. You don't have to publish the full agenda, but you do have to post a notice with the town clerk and on the town website that the meeting coming up is going to be fully remote, and that has to be 2 full days in advance of the meeting. Rule number 2 is, upon request by a member of the public, if you're going to hold a fully remote meeting, then if a member of the public requests it, the town must provide means for them to attend the meeting remotely if they don't have their own computer. So what that means is, let's say the Board of Selectmen, Rich and Paul and I were going to meet from our homes and have a fully remote meeting. We would also have to have Dion or somebody come in and open up meeting room A and turn on the video equipment so that those people could participate remotely from town hall. So obviously it kind of makes it more likely that people are just going to go back to having in-person meetings. The third option is a hybrid meeting. That is where the board, at least a quorum of the board members, meet in a central location, but video technology is used to allow the public to participate as if they were present. And in that case, the normal rules apply there too. All of those meetings, the remote and the hybrid meetings, must be video recorded. And the video must be posted up on the website within 7 days of the meeting. And that video must remain on the website for at least 45 days after the meeting. So those rules are in effect now. They took effect July 1. So I do have I was trying to show you the memo, that there's instructions that very clearly point this out, that will be going out to the staff and to the board members first thing tomorrow. Item number 2 on the Selectmen's report. This is really happy news. In the past 3 weeks, we had a bond review meeting with Standard & Poor's. The Bethel bond rating was not only reaffirmed at the highest rate possible, a AAA rating, but we were rated at a level that's called eligible to be rated above the sovereign. And what that means is our credit rating here in Bethel is actually better than that of the United States government. So the purpose of the rating call was to get a rating to sell the final bonds to complete the renovation of Rockwell and Johnson School. That bid process was performed last Wednesday. And this is more good news. We attracted 9 top global firms bidding on our $20 million bond issue. And that's unusual. Small towns don't normally attract more than 3 or 4 bidders, but we had 9 of the top folks in the business who deal very heavily in municipal bonds. The winning bond carries a true interest rate of 1.58% on the 20-year note, which is, as of today, the lowest rate obtained by any town in the state of Connecticut. It was initially a $20 million bond issue. The Board of Finance very wisely took some money out of fund balance, about $990,000, to buy down the premium a little bit. And also by using the bond premium itself, which is sort of like points in a mortgage situation, they were actually able to reduce the final amount to just a little bit over $15 million. And that will save the town over $5 million in borrowing costs over the 20-year life of the bonds. So this is really good news. Bethel is in extremely strong position financially. And, I'm very grateful for my colleagues and for the folks on the Board of Finance all these years that have pursued a strategy that is really paying off for our taxpayers today and saving them a lot of money and allowing us to do renovations like the school renovation at a very, very low interest rate. So that's my report, and I'll pause to see if my colleagues have anything to add or if they have any questions.
Pat, I'd like to add for item number 14, tonight's agenda is consideration of Richard Murthesball to fill a vacancy on the Ethics Commission.
Oh, do we have a recommendation on that?
Yeah, it went out July 9th to your office.
Oh, did you get that, Dion?
If I did, it went in my email and I just missed it for the meeting. So it was just something that was overlooked.
All right, well, I'll second that, Paul. Yeah, so
Yeah.
as item number 14, appointment to Ethics Commission, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that either. All right.
Yeah, this is replacing the resignation of Gary Regan.
Okay. All right. So to add this as item number 14, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Correct. Second.
Aye.
Third.
Okay. So that's 14. Now, did you have any
Matt,
Yeah.
can I just say, yes, I was on vacation when it came in and I just put it on my list. So I apologize. I did get it from Tim Beeble.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, we stopped the staff meetings a long time ago. It's okay. Okay. Any other comments from the selectmen before we move on?
No.
All right. In that case, I'll move on to item number 5, consideration of the minutes of the special meeting of June 21st, 2021.
I'll make the recommendation. We approve those.
All right. I'll second that, or second by Rich. Are there any comments? And hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Item number 6, consideration of 2022 bid waiver for the revaluation. Let me put a motion on the floor that Marty sent me. Nope, I don't have that.
I didn't send that one.
Okay, I've got the other two. All right. Well, Izzy, you're on the line with us. This is what we're requesting. What you're requesting is a bid waiver to award the $148,000 contract for the revaluation to Tyler Technologies. Did you get any other bidders?
No, I did not get any bidders.
They were the only one.
They are the only ones who bid.
And this is the firm that we've done business with the last couple cycles.
Since
correct?
I've been here, and
Okay.
that's been over 16 years.
All right.
Do we have a list of possible bidders that we're going to possibly bid on it?
Yes,
Or-
I do have, I think there's 9 companies. I can tell you, I had a list, and I can give you the list if you needed to see it.
No, but you sent out invitations to everybody to bid it.
Correct. And it was
All right.
posted in the newspaper.
Okay,
All right. Well, I don't think we need to do a bid waiver then. I think we just need to award the bid to Tyler. Would that be correct?
You need the bid waiver because it was bid, but when we bid it, we bid the full revaluation and we only need to do the update.
Okay.
So,
The original bid I sent out was for a full, which would have been about $285,000 from Tyler Technologies. When I did the amendment, the only one who responded was Tyler Technologies, and that's at $148,000, so saving us about $137,000.
Okay. Now I see on the paperwork here for their proposal, there's a litigation support as an option and image collection as an option. Are you recommending either of those two options or is
We
one?
haven't used it before. But I mean, I don't, it's something that you can think of.
We did years ago. There was a couple of small cases,
Okay.
used them and,
Oh, this probably Scalzo.
yeah, but right. That was one of
Right, I forgot, yeah.
It's not the same as a regular full-blown appraisal. It's different. It's a little bit different.
All right.
We have used them a couple of times.
All right. So Izzy, would you recommend then that we approve the litigation support?
Yeah, we can do it then.
Okay. All right. In that case, I will make a motion that we waive the bid process and award the contract for the 2021 revaluation. Excuse me, that'd be the 2022 revaluation
2022 revaluation.
to Tyler Technologies as requested.
In the amount of,
148,000 plus the 900,
oh, okay.
That's
Fine.
900.
48,900,
Well, that's 900 per parcel.
right,
But that's
Right,
only if there's
per
a-
parcel.
Right. Okay.
I'd recommend you approve the 148. And then when we sign the contract, we could have that as an option.
Okay.
She could probably take some of that out of her budget, or we could take it out of legal.
Okay. All right. So
Because
we'll-
it'll have to be sent to the Board of Finance as a capital non-recurring request.
okay. All
Okay,
right. Then I will just amend the motion and say to approve it not to exceed 148,000.
I'll second that for discussion.
Okay. Floor is open.
Brad, we've been budgeting for that. Correct me if I'm in the error. Wasn't that like at 50,000 per year that we were putting into the budget?
Yeah, typically we keep it there at $50,000 a year as a
So we're
placeholder.
covered, we're basically covered for it at this point.
Yeah, the boards have never approved anything for it, but when you include the money that's in the 22 budget for capital non-recurring, there's over $2.3 million. So because it's always been a healthy budget in the CNR, we haven't gone out and officially approved it in little pieces because we knew the money was there.
Okay. Fine.
All right.
So
Yeah.
just a clarification, Izzy. The modification to the contract, all the other 8 bidders got the same information, correct?
yes,
Okay. Thank you.
Just so Paul, not Paul, so Rich, just so you know, when we after we had to go out and get the
Oh, I'm
update,
sorry.
we sent it to the 3 companies that have bid in the last 15 years, and only Tyler got back to us. Because even though there's 9 that can see the full bid and that can bid on it, in the last 15 years, we've only gotten 3 of them. And the
2 of
last couple years, 2 of them. In the last couple years, it's only been Tyler bidding on it. And I believe, Izzy, it has a lot to do with what system we use.
Correct, because we use IAS World.
Yeah, so some of the other, some of those 9 don't really do any of it with the companies that we use.
All right.
But Tyler does, and we use them a lot.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Thank you.
any other questions?
No,
Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
That motion carries. Item number 7, consideration of abatement of taxes for the Bethel Housing Authority and for Augustana Homes Incorporated from the grand list of October 1st, 2020 in the amount of $235,097.96. So I'll make a motion that we approve that abatement. Is there a second?
I'll second that for discussion.
All right.
And I'm gonna ask you the question, when does this end?
When does it end?
Yeah,
Ever.
Never. It's by state statute.
yeah. But do we get anything back from the state for this? I
We
know
have,
we get something.
we have not. We used to get money back, but we have not in recent years gotten any money back. And I think it was Rich last year asked how much they actually paid. So I did calculate last year's, and they paid $101,669 for all 4 parcels. The problem is that even theirs, Bishop Curtis didn't get money from the state initially, so they had to revise their expenditures and their income, because it initially, when the year started last July, they only had to pay $1,000 a quarter because they had no income from the state. And once the state money came into them, then they revised their numbers to me and we went on. And I tried to look back, going back a couple of years, and to be honest with you, it is all over the place. And the reason for that is it's based on 10% of the income, and the housing projects are based on income of the residents. So if you have residents there that have a higher income, then it's going to go up. And if you have a lot of residents that have a lower income, it's going to go down. So that's where it stands. The other project that we got a big grant from was the lower end of Augustana Homes, which sold years ago and is no longer impacted by this.
Okay,
And just for the record, the breakdown of that 235,000 is 54,619 for Main Street for the Phineas Park, $61,820.80 for the Reynolds Ridge. The first property, which I think is the 166. There's two developments there. The second Reynolds Ridge property is 64,106.26, and then Augustana Homes, or the former Bishop Curtis, is 54,551.88. So, any other questions on that motion? And hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 I just have one more comment I would like to tell the Board of Selectmen about.
Sure.
It's a little off topic. I'm very pleased to let everyone know that the town this year, we collected 99.68%, which is the highest that we've ever collected since I've been tax collector. Or even in the tax office, let's not even tax collector. So I'm very proud of my staff. And I attribute some of this to 2 things. One, people didn't go anywhere. So they had money to pay their taxes. And the second thing is because we were closed, my staff had the ability to work over the phone with the taxpayers, and it contributed to us getting ones that we don't normally get to. So I just want to publicly acknowledge my staff. They've done a great job.
Great job, Ann. Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is indeed great news. All right, moving on to item number 8. Consideration, items number 8 and 9 deal with the solar projects for the 2 school renovations. And I see we have Adam and Gary here with us tonight. Thank you for being here. So you will remember, Rich and Paul, that when we did this for the, oh, somebody just joined us?
Riley.
It sounded like mine. When we did this for the track and field center, we had to approve the construction agreement and then the leasing agreement and have a town meeting. We're going to have to do the same thing tonight. So it set all that up. So first up is Johnson School. So I am going to read a motion into the record. Motion to approve a certain construction contract with JD Solar for the construction of solar panels on excuse me. All right, hold on a minute. Hey, Marty. Which one?
Yes.
Both of the motions say Rockwell. Obviously, one is supposed to say Johnson. Do you know which cost is for Johnson?
That's because they're 2 different motions. The one I gave you, number 1, that's for Rockwell School, and that's the lease
Oh, that's the lease.
for Rockwell School. That's the actual construction with JD Solar.
Okay,
3 is for Johnson, and that's the lease. And number 4 is for Johnson, and that's the JD Solar.
okay. So we do JD Solar first, correct? Doesn't matter. Okay. All right, then I'll make a motion to approve a certain lease schedule with Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 attached with BCI Capital for an amount not to exceed $407,381.48 for the financing of solar panels for Ralph M.T. Johnson School over a period of 15 years at an interest rate not to exceed 2.65% per annum, subject to Board of Finance approval and special town meeting approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, then secondly, we'll do the construction agreement for the same, and then do the same thing for Rockwell. But before we move on, Rich and Paul, do you have any questions for Gary or Adam?
No, it's similar to the field house, so it's,
Same thing, all right.
same thing.
In that case, I'll try your minds. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Second motion, I move to approve a certain construction contract with JD Solar for the construction of solar panels on Ralph M.T. Johnson School for the amount not to exceed $403,348, subject to Board of Finance approval and special town meeting approval. Is there a second? Second by Rich. Any discussion?
When will this occur?
Next Tuesday, I think, right?
I think,
After
if
the
I'm not
town,
mistaken, anybody can jump in here, but it's my understanding in talking to our building official, he has everything he needs. And supposedly, what I saw through some emails that the permits have already been filed for. So it's just a question of getting the materials there and getting started.
All right. All right, if there's no other questions, I'll try your minds. Those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Okay, moving on to Rockwell School. First, I move to approve a certain lease schedule with Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 attached with BCI Capital for an amount not to exceed $360,604.34 for the financing of solar panels for Anna H. Rockwell School over a period of 15 years at an interest rate not to exceed 2.65% per annum, subject to Board of Finance approval and special town meeting approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Paul. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That carries. And finally, I move to approve a certain construction contract with JD Solar for the construction of solar panels on Anna H. Rockwell School for an amount not to exceed $357,000, $357,034, subject to Board of Finance approval and special town meeting approval. And second by Rich. Any discussion? And hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That carries. Gentlemen, thanks for being here with us tonight. So we'll look forward to seeing those when the project is complete. We'll have a little party.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much.
Thank
Right.
you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 10. Rich and Paul will remember that we have retained Richard C. Robinson of the law firm Coleman and Comley to do a contract review for us for the police station. Mr. Robinson, Attorney Robinson, he specializes in contract law, especially with construction, has a great deal of experience. We want to retain him to do a brief contract review relative to the school projects before we close those out. So I'm going to put a motion on the floor that we appoint as special town counsel Richard C. Robinson of the firm Pullman and Comley for the purpose of contract interpretation for Rockwell and Johnson school project.
Second for discussion.
Okay, it was seconded by Paul. The floor is open for discussion.
Why?
Do
Do we have a problem there? It's unlike the police station.
No, what we have is a request by two of the vendors for more money, for more funding.
Oh, okay.
And they're making a contract claim that they are entitled to additional funding under certain conditions. We do, well, I'm not going to discuss it any further until we have Mr. Robinson review it, but obviously we think that there's some interpretation that would actually favor us, the town in this regard. So we want to have Mr. Robinson review those contracts. just to make
Okay.
sure on good footing. But no, I know what you're thinking, Paul, nothing's leaking. Okay, any other questions on that?
No.
Hearing none, on the motion to appoint Richard Robinson, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Moving on to number 11, consideration actually, we have two things here. Under number 11, consideration of 29 Benedict Road, there are two pieces of open space that is going to be granted over to the town. Let me get that motion for you. If you've had a chance to look at the maps, this is the development that is on Benedict Road. It's right by Chimney Drive. There is a piece of open space area that is 2.685 acres and then a little bit of an easement for road widening. And both of those will come over to the town. So I'm going to make a motion, there'll be in two motions. Motion to approve and accept the transfer of ownership from Codfish and DeMarco LLC for road widening purposes on Benedict Road, a piece of land labeled Parcel X, 2,111 square feet or 0.048 acres on a map entitled Subdivision Map Depicting Eleanor Estate, dated June 30th, 2020, revised October 20, 2020, and filed in the office of the town clerk in map book 28 on map page 91, fulfilling the requirements of a re-subdivision and special permit approval for Eleanor Estates by the Bethel Planning and Zoning Commission, subject to final review and approval by town council. Is there a second? All right, second by Rich. Any questions on this one?
This is the entire, it's a development of what, 4 different lots up there?
Correct.
And we're just being granted additional land to the town for open space.
That's correct. This So on the map that you saw, if you have to blow it up to see it because it's pretty small. but there's
I
a
looked at it.
right along Benedict Road labeled parcel X, and that's basically just for road widening. Then the bigger piece of property is the fourth lot, and that's not going to be built. That's wetland. So that's the part that's labeled open space. So any other questions on that? All
I was
right.
just gonna say, the open space parcel is closer to Colonial Drive than it is to Benedict.
Yeah, it is.
Correct,
Right
yeah.
at the end.
And this is pretty standard. This is, it was drawn on the map this way, and that's what the planning and zoning wanted, and all we're doing is signing off. I just want to point out that traditionally for road widening purposes like this, it's the Board of Selectmen that have the final say. So if you approve this today, it's done for parcel X.
Okay.
Open space is a different story.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Any other questions? Rich, do you have any questions? on
Yeah,
it?
does the open space border up actually onto Colonial Drive? So there's access, is there access to the property
No.
for the public?
Not on this one. The one that we have on the floor right now was the parcel X, which is just along the
Oh,
street.
right. Oh, I thought we voted on that one.
No, no.
Oh,
When I bring up the next motion, then we'll get
okay,
to
all
that.
right. I'll wait.
Okay. All right, so hearing no further questions, I'll try your minds on parcel X. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, and that carries. Okay, the second one, this one will require a town meeting because this is the open space piece. I move to approve and accept the transfer of ownership from Codfish and DeMarco LLC as open space, 116,942 square feet or 2.685 acres on a certain map entitled Subdivision Map Depicting Eleanor Estates, dated June 30th, 2020, revised October 20th, 2020, and filed in the office of the Bethel Town Clerk in Map Book 28 at map page 91, fulfilling the requirements of a re-subdivision and special permit approval for Eleanor Estates by the Bethel Planning and Zoning Commission, and to refer the same to Board of Finance and for approval and final approval by a special town meeting. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, second by Rich. Okay, so your question, Rich, does that,
Is there public access to that piece of property?
The map you have is pretty small. I've got a larger one.
Yeah, that's,
This Colonial Drive comes down, abuts the entire parcel. And, it's one of those standard turnarounds for Colonial Drive. So most of that property there belongs to the homeowners. One was Braden on the one side, and I can't pronounce the name on the other side. But if you look at it, you'll see that the actual right-of-way road cuts into that open space parcel, I would say by about 15 or 20 feet.
okay,
So it does have some access.
okay.
all right? Any other questions?
No.
Nope, hearing none. Those in favor of accepting this open space and referring to Board of Finance and town meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that carries. Item number 12. We have a vacancy to fill as an inland wetland alternate to fill the position left vacant by Lou David, who resigned recently. So I'm going to put a motion on the floor that we accept the recommendation from the Bethel Democratic Town Committee to appoint Nicholas Jordan to fill the remainder of that term.
Second.
Second by Rich. Any questions?
Yes, yes. On that same memorandum, which we spoke about for item number 14 tonight, the Republican Party nominated Kevin Seaman of Brookwood Drive to fill the vacancy on the Inland Wetlands Commission that resulted from the resignation of Peter Samerdak. So you really have two vacancies there.
Dion, was that on that same?
Yeah, it's on the same memorandum of July 9th.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's handle that one separately. That might be item 15 on the agenda. Because the one we're voting on now was alternate, not a full seat.
Yeah. Okay. I know there's a vacancy. That's all I know.
Well, then, I think what you're saying is that Peter Smardak he had a full seat. He wasn't an alternate, correct?
I believe so.
Yes, so he did resign. And so there is so we do need to refill that seat. I don't recall seeing his resignation though. Do you know if he?
Yeah,
Yeah?
he did.
Yeah, there was a letter. I saw the letter. from-
Okay, oh, maybe when I was gone, okay. All right, well, let's add, let me put that aside. We'll add that as another item.
Okay.
So on the appointment of Nicholas Jordan, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so now I'll make a motion to be item number 15, appointment to inland wetland. There's a second, Paul, you want to second that?
Yeah, I'm second that. Right. That's for Kevin Seaman of Brookwood.
I'm just gonna add it to the agenda for now.
Okay.
All right, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, that'll be item number 15. Moving on to number 13, consideration of special town meeting, and this will be for the purpose of approving the construction and leasing agreements of the solar panels for Johnson and Rockwell schools, as well as acceptance of the open space at the end of Colonial Drive as part of the what we just approved for the from DeMarco. So I'm going to make a motion that we establish a special town meeting for Tuesday, August 17th, here at the Bethel Municipal Center, general purpose room at 6:30 p.m. That would give us a special town meeting just before our Board of Selectmen meeting. So is there
I'll
a
second it.
All right, any discussion on that?
No.
Hearing
Pat, I'm
none?
sorry, you said 6:30?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Then we'll have our regular Board of Selectmen meeting at 7.
okay.
All right, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that carries. Item number 14, appointment to the Ethics Commission. Paul, you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for the consideration of Richard Merthesball to fill the vacancy on the Ethics Commission, okay? And this is as a result of the resignation of Gary Regan.
All right. I'll second that motion. And any discussion? And hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That carries. And last but not least, okay, I just got the item number 15, appointment to the full seat in the Inland Wetland Commission to fill the seat vacated by Peter.
Samadak.
Yep. So Paul, you want to make that motion?
And yeah, this is a consideration of Kevin Seaman of Brookwood Drive to fill the vacant seat on the Inland Wetlands Commission that resulted from the resignation of Peter Samadak.
All right, and I'll second that. And any discussion? And let me just say, I want to thank all of the folks who have stepped up to fill positions tonight. So we've been able to fill 3 positions, and you know, especially through the pandemic, it's been getting harder and harder to get people to volunteer to serve their town government. And I'm very grateful for all of these folks for doing so. So those in favor of appointing Mr. Seaman to this position, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. And that concludes our agenda for the evening. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion by Rich, second by Paul. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Have a great night, everyone.
Okay, good night.
Night.